This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Welcome to McGowan's Canvas Miracles. We're here today with Sam Johnston, a good friend of mine, who's he's got quite the story to tell and quite the adventure. And we're going to paint a Christmas tree, being the holiday season, and have some fun. And Sam didn't know he was painting today when he come in. He's the best dressed painter we've ever had on the show. And today's show is going to be about hope. One of my favorite poems is Emily Dickinson's "Hope is a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. I've heard it in the sweetest gale, and sore must be the storm that could have asked the little bird that kept so many warm." Now this old poem, Emily's talking about no matter what's going on in our life, we're down and out, and we'll talk a little bit about that today, Sam. Some of the things that happen and bring us down, but hope is always that thing that just sparks and we get going again. So maybe we could talk a little bit about that today.
Hi, Rob. It's great to be with you again. It's always a pleasure. It's good to see you. The last time we spoke was on radio, and now we've graduated to TV, and we were going to do a painting, so that's pretty special.
Something different.
Yeah, indeed. Hope, for me, hope's a small word with a big meaning, because I've really had, at points in my life, to dig deep to find hope, indeed. And it's an essential element of life, and going through the various stages of life and facing the trials and tribulations that come upon us all. So it's absolutely essential to have hope. And Emily Dickinson's words ring true to everyone and are applied to everyone's life.
That's true. Well, we're going to start off today with, we're going to take a little blue paint. We're going to keep it easy. Nothing too hard. We're going to paint a circle. I'm going to put a little bit of paint on each corner.
Cool.
Try not to get it on your suit.
Yeah.
He's saying, I wish I could have come with a pair of jeans or something.
Yeah.
Maybe. So, next thing we're going to do, get this out of the way of the camera. Take your brush. You got some kind of a wide brush here. Anyone, that one will work.
This guy?
Yeah. Grab that, and you're going to move that paint around in the corners, just creating a circle.
Oh, this is kind of cool. Something new for me.
Yeah, it's good fun. So, I don't know if everybody knows this, but Sam, you, in your early days, you're quite the medalist. You've had a Taekwondo club and kickboxing and taught a lot of people to fight, but in your day, you had to do a bit of fighting yourself, and you won a gold medal. What was that experience like? I was
an avid competitor as a young guy. In my early career, I won the New Brunswick Maritime and Eastern Canadian Heavyweight Championships. I went to the Nationals a few times. I was on the Professional Karate League circuit down through Central Canada and New England. So that was a great experience. And then later on in life, I went into what would be, I lost the top of my paintbrush.
Here.
What could be termed the martial arts Olympics, if you will.
Yeah.
Olympics in Seoul, South Korea. And that was after I got really ill. And I went over there to compete and try the tournament simply because I wanted to set an example for my students, and just as we're talking about today, give them some hope, never to give up. When things get tough in life, you have to dig deep and try your best. And one of the maxims I live by in life is nothing's accomplished without sweat. So hard work and determination can take you far in life, and that was my motivation for competing.
So the sickness you're talking about, it was leukemia, I believe, right?
Right, acute myeloid leukemia.
So how did you find dealing with that? I can imagine I've met a lot of people through my art classes that come in and are doing that. They find that art actually helps them as they're going through the balance. For you, was it judo, or was there certain things, or just the motivation of giving people the example? Was it that?
Yeah, so really I like to say that I decided early on in life to follow a path of Bushido, to become a person that used martial arts as a catalyst for something positive in their life. And as I've gotten older, it's not so much about me now, but rather passing on that knowledge to other people, particularly the youth, to help them in their life. So one of the things that happened when I became ill, that the physicians told me that it would probably be very difficult for me to continue training and teaching. And that was one of my passions in life, as you know. So I just said to myself, you know what, I'm going to defy the odds here. And like I say, nothing's accomplished without sweat. So I was very determined. I had a lot of belief in myself and faith in God, and I just continued on my path, and I eventually got better. Wasn't the same, it was a new normal, but I was still able to train and even go in one final tournament.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to, as you're going along here, we're going to take some water on our brush, and we're going to soften the inside and pull it
Okay.
to a center circle. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
like we're going down the abyss.
Wow, that's kind of cool. All right. Oh, look at that.
This is just to create some light down in the distance.
All right.
And then when you get to the very center, just wipe it a little bit in the middle.
Okay. Kind of something different, huh?
Yeah. And then on the edges, you're going to take a little bit of this Payne's Gray and just touch the tip of our brush, put a little bit on each corner, and we're going to blend the corners to be a little bit darker. Nothing to it.
This is
So far, so good.
kind of interesting.
You never know where it's going to go. We're just creating one thing we like to do with the show is create something from nothing. Just come in unexpected, say, oh, I've never done this before. And
Yeah.
then to be able to pull something off
It's definitely
in the
unexpected.
short bit of time is kind of gives us hope. Oh, maybe there
Right.
are things I can do.
Well, my daughter is a wonderful artist, and my dad was good with painting as well. But it's one of the skills that this is the first time really, beyond paint by number, when I was a kid, I've ever tried to paint anything.
Oh,
So where
really?
is it, the gray one, Rob?
Yeah, just take a little dab of that.
On the same brush?
Yep, very little. And just put a little bit on each corner and then sort of make your bottom corner dark. And then we're going to
Okay.
blend this together to make a sort of trail here that's going down into the light. So we start with the darkest at closest to us
Yeah.
and work our way back into the light, just cleaning out our brush.
All right.
Real simple remedy. Light and dark, the story of life, eh?
Indeed.
All right.
Yin and yang.
And one thing we have to learn is about instructions. So we're going to take our cloth
Okay.
and we're going to wipe off the top corners where we don't add any dark.
Ooh.
That's all right.
Ooh.
Sometimes this happens. We get going away and we just jump. Happens in
Yeah.
every class I go to. Here, I'll hold your brush for a sec.
Thank you.
Just wipe that off. And no big deal. Just take a little water. It's the one thing about acrylic painting is you can clean it up so fast. Just like in life, you make jump ahead. Sometimes we get eager to do something,
Yeah.
and we have a tendency to just jump right at it before we've even,
Okay.
really paid attention to plans.
So
Yeah, I
get
get
rid of
those
these
things
guys.
from IKEA all the time, and
Yeah.
I'm not one for reading instructions. So I'm building it, and then I realize, oh, I've got this shelf upside down, or
I
this.
was going
thing.
at it pretty good there.
Yeah.
Oh, I put my finger in the yellow too.
You get involved.
Yeah, so let's try to get
Yeah.
this straightened out again.
So grab a little bit of blue.
A little bit of blue here, fix it up.
Yep, nothing to it. All clean as a whistle again.
Okay.
And then we're just
Perfect.
going to take the water and a little bit of that Payne's Gray and just keep working around the
Yeah, look at
bottom,
that guy.
creating a little trail here. So the shadow's only at the bottom. So what we were trying to do is create a distance. So we want the
Okay.
light to be back there
Gotcha.
and traveling towards that light.
Right.
Do you read any poetry at all, Sam, or anything?
Not a whole lot, no. I find it interesting, though.
You have favorite quotes from different people? I would imagine with the Taekwondo and what you do with Taekwondo, you would have read some of the Art of War and some of these
Yep.
things, and of
Centuries
course,
Out of War. Yeah, so at the end of one quote that comes to mind from some of the Eastern philosophy is at the end of suffering comes happiness. And if people again, you talk the theme hope. If they have hope and they hang on in their life, things can and do eventually get better.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, because if you think back on any problem you've ever had in life, you know, and we've had many, we all go through
all
these
have
big
them.
issues,
Yep.
but they've all disappeared, you know?
Yep.
We're going through new issues now, whatever the things might be, but those problems at the time that seemed overwhelming are all gone. They don't even exist anymore. So knowing that the things that are our troubles now someday are not going to exist.
The old anxiety technique comes to mind of, will this be an issue 5 years from now?
Yeah, exactly.
And most times it won't be. Oh, okay.
That's great.
Yeah, so
So
far
we're
so
going to let that dry up a little bit. And so tell me about, so this election that you were just in, you just won a new seat, and you're going to be our MLA, and
Yep.
what are your hopes and aspirations that you'd like to see for our community?
Yeah, great question, Rob. So one of the things about me in terms of getting involved in politics is that I didn't need a job. I didn't need politics to have my means to make a living. I had a great career. I was blessed to have a full-time job, full-time career with the federal government. I was also on council, and I also had my martial arts school. So I got involved in politics, and I know it may sound cliche because I truly did believe that here in Miramichi, we did need a new voice. We needed a new voice, not only in the riding of Miramichi Bay Niguac, but I sincerely believed we needed a new voice in Fredericton. And I felt as though, with my experience and my personality, that should I step up to be that voice, I could do okay. And my main objective is to be there for other people and to try to help them. And one of the things, if I could say anything about the campaign, because I had knocked on over 7,000 doors, and I met an incredible amount of people, all the way from Netawaganeg right down through to the Tavis Tack, which is a huge riding, is that there's a lot of folks, regardless of skin color, language, religion, we're all here in our region, and we're all different, but one of the common themes was there's a lot of folks that need help. There's a lot of folks that need help. So my hope is to be able to give them some help if I can.
Awesome. Well, that's a good thing. Well, we're going to start putting a Christmas tree on.
Wow.
It's that time of year. We might as well grab. We're going to grab a little brush like this here.
Mine doesn't look as good as yours, but
Yeah, it's no big deal. We'll soften it up. And
okay.
it's going to be
a little wee brush.
Yeah, just grab that little brush there.
This
Got
guy.
a little square
Okay.
head on it.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a little bit of this here, Payne's Gray, and you got a white page beside you there.
Yep.
I'll show a secret here. A little Payne's Gray mix there.
Yeah.
We're going to take a touch of this yellow, mix it in, and something funny happens. You start to get this greeny color.
Holy mac! Look at that. Well, that's interesting.
So now, painting a Christmas tree. So the first one we're going to paint in the background is we want it really watery. So make your brush a little bit watery,
Okay.
and then we're going to just touch a little point back here. And you start by doing that, just a little bit of a point,
Okay.
real light. Maybe a little more water
Yep. There we go.
into your paint. Yeah, so it's all about moving the pigment around. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to go sort of create a little bit of a smile with our brush just by tapping it a bit. That's it, yep.
Okay.
Then we're going to move down, and we're just going to paint a smile to one side.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we're going to move down a bit more and go right across like that. And when you turn your brush to an angle and get light, you can get real fine, sort of bristly marks of the tree.
Okay.
And this is going to have snow on it and all kinds of things covering up our mess we're making here. And then we come down and we're going to do the same thing. And each time as we get down, we're going to get a little wider as we go down the page.
Okay.
We're going to come right down and try and create some spaces here and there. So what we don't want to do is ever in life is, if you ever look in nature, nothing's perfect. The Greeks once did a test. They had all their artists go out and they said, we want you to build the perfect statue. Who can get it symmetrically perfect, the eyes, you know, the nose, the mouth, everything perfect, and come back. And it was a contest for who could build the best statue.
Right.
When they came back, all the artists with their statues and their perfection, they said it was the ugliest art they'd ever seen in history. Perfection is, there's nothing good about perfection. Nature is in the character of things that we build. So it's in the flaws, and the greatness that happens from people is not because they're perfect, it's
Right.
because they're flawed and they've had to overcome things. And in that overcoming, they've learned things that teach other people. And that's where I find in painting, it's the same thing. Michelangelo said that the worst thing we can do is try to create art. The minute we try to create it, we destroy it. The art is already there. God's already created the art. Our job is to get the rubble out of the way.
Cool.
So we basically are going down and we're just creating something that's going to happen just to see what we see. And let our tree sort of build itself, moving back and forth. And this first tree is in the distance, so it's going to be kind of pale. And then we're going to take our rag, just sort of clean it out so it's way back there in the distance. Let that dry out. There. So you see here you've ended up with symmetry, because we have a habit. You got perfect shapes of smiley faces. So what you want to do in order to make that good is you want to smash one of them, make it a little longer, and then connect one together. Just break things up a bit.
Ah, cool.
And all of a sudden, you can, once you take away that perfect thing, you start to get something that creates what you want.
Right.
So now we're going to go over and build another one right behind it.
Okay.
Just a little bit smaller. And just this time we're going to have fun and go fast. So we go down with the point this way, and then smiley face, down, smiley face, down, smiles. Easy, nothing to it. What's old Bob Ross used to say when he was painting? The happy accidents, that's what we're looking for.
The happy accident.
Have some good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Already, your second tree is way better than your first. Loose and fun. Yeah, even that puddly water is good because it's in the distance, so we want that.
Yeah.
So remember, as you're going down, make sure you connect them together a little bit, a couple.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
There you go. Yeah. That way when you add the snow on, it's going to look really good.
Cool.
Okay, so we'll let that dry for a minute. So what are some of the things when you were out talking to all these people and you were going through the constituency and everybody was, what would be a sort of a main issue that you might have heard a lot? I know people are hurting, but what do they think would resolve it that you might have some help and influence in doing?
Well, a couple of the things that I heard about, number one, would be cost of living. And you know, where people often assume that, you know, folks that struggle, you know, are on income assistance or, you know, aren't out working or whatever, but that's not the case at all. And what I found is folks want to work and they want to have dignity and they want to be self-reliant. And even sometimes when they do, even sometimes when they have more than one job, they're still having a hard time making a go of things because of the inflation of the world right now. Just the economy is really tough. So one of the things that I was really impressed with our new Premier, Susan Holt, is she had some innovative ideas in terms of how to help people deal with the cost of living. And the first one was a rent cap of 3%. And in extenuating circumstances, in order to help the landlords out, it could be upwards of 9%, depending on the situation. And we moved very quickly to get that bill passed, all in the first month of this session of having formed government. So it was kind of like, you know, sink or swim for me. We dove right into that first bill, And the next part was the HST, off of heat, off of electricity in people's homes.
Okay.
That way, regardless of what, if you were a person that had a lower income or middle income, you still reap the benefit of, because everybody needs heat in the wintertime, of saving some money. And the last intervention that I was really impressed with, and I think will turn out to be a good thing for people, is removing the adjuster tax off gas.
Okay.
So those were three things that our government moved on quickly in order to try to make the cost of living a little more manageable for people, regardless of income.
And in the next segment, we're going to start adding our foreground tree and then starting to make this thing come to life.
With clubs, leagues, and courts in every province and territory across Canada, squash is the sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. From coast to coast to coast. Learn to play and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
Leonard Thompson, 13 years old, diabetes mellitus, 65 pounds.
Starve the child to let them live. The treatment's as cruel as the disease. It's a death sentence.
Dr. Banting.
This could be it.
He's the first to receive this trial.
But will it save him?
It's not pure enough.
So we try again. And again. And again.
Before the discovery of insulin, diabetes was a death sentence. Banting, Best, Collip, and McLeod's breakthrough has saved millions of lives. Leonard Thompson's was the first.
Well, we're back with McGowan's Canvas Miracles, and Sam Johnston's here, and we're having a great conversation about overcoming things. Today's show's about hope, and he's hoping his painting will get a little better. He was a little worried at the beginning there, but first time, it always starts out a little rough, and as we go, you'll see we're gonna fix things up a little bit.
Cool.
Just like everything, you can add a piece here, do a little bit there. So we're gonna add a foreground tree now.
Okay.
Because anytime I mess something up, I put something in front of it to hide it, and that's usually the way I go through life. We're going to take some of this Payne's gray here. Okay. Now, most people don't know, most artists don't even have black in their repertoire. They don't use it. They use a transparent Payne's gray of some kind. Black makes things look dark. So if you were doing something like a cloud painting or something like that, most people think, oh, I mix black and white and get gray. Right. But no, one of the techniques is to mix blue and two colors on the color wheel, say blue and orange.
Yep.
And when you mix them together, they make a gray for the clouds. And then what it does is that gray reflects the orange and blue in your skies, as opposed to a black and white gray, which sits still.
Yeah.
So these little tricks from artists, and you think, why does his look good and mine? And those are all techniques people can learn along the way.
Yeah.
And have some fun with. So we got some of this Payne's gray watered down a bit.
Yep.
And we're going to put very little yellow into it this time because we want it a little darker and just a little bit thicker. So we're going to start with a taller tree right in front, and we're going to put a couple peaks here. You know what? I'm going to give you a better brush because yours seems a little fat, and I think don't want to be saying you got the terrible brush and I got the good one. I can use
all the help I can get.
That's right. So you'll find that one a lot easier. It's a little bit smooth, and if you're on an angle a bit, you can really control how much paint you apply to the canvas. And we're just going to put a little peak at the top and paint our first smile, short little smile. Now you're hitting the tip of your brush, but if you tip your brush on an angle like this,
yeah, okay,
So you're just hitting the side edge of your brush. There you go, yeah, really light. And then grabbing some more of that paint, some water, and we're gonna work our way down. So we'll paint one side in, bringing it up into the tree, like that. Oh, you're way down. You skip some branches in the middle there. That's better, yeah.
Okay.
So add a little one right here, maybe.
Right.
There you go.
Perfect.
Now, remember I said about symmetry? See how you started, you got 3 going the same there? So your next one, I'm gonna miss here, but as you go down, miss this spot, leave an opening here, and come right across. So see how I've got a gap in the tree with just a little tiny piece?
Yeah.
And we're just gonna work our way down. And each one, just try to keep your branches a little bit closer. There you go, yep. Now you're starting to get the hang of the tree.
Okay.
And then you work it down, add another one in. Just get paint as you need, always pressing lightly. And remember, you can always add stuff, so don't try to paint the whole tree at once. We can always go back and add a little branch if there's too much space. Much nicer. Now you're getting a nice Christmas tree.
Yeah.
It's all in the brush, I guess.
Cool.
Just had to give you the good brush.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about, I want to go back a bit. The leukemia that you went through.
Right.
And the battles of that. There's so many people struggling with, what about even medical stuff and things? In this job, are you able to help people with those kinds of issues that they're going to be going through?
Actually, it's a very good question, Robin. In my own journey, it's never easy to sit across from a physician and hear the news of a tough diagnosis, particularly one that is life-threatening. So I've found that folks in those situations really are striving for some semblance of hope. They're really reaching out to be able to latch onto something to give them hope to continue, to find the strength to be able to continue on. Then you have situations where folks have what I would term a chronic disease type situation. Perhaps they need assistance with ongoing medical intervention, whereby they need to go to the hospital on a regular basis, and it can be very challenging for them. And one of the things about being, I'm not going to say we're in a totally rural area, but one of the things we do have a challenge with in our area is that we might not have the same extent of services as a larger center like St. John or Moncton. And sometimes folks have to travel, and they're already not well. So it's hard on their family and it's hard on them. So you try to give those people hope, you try to do your best to see if we can have those services. And most times we do at some point have the services to offer them here. So despite the fact they're struggling with an illness, at least they don't have to travel. Mm-hmm. So those are a couple of the types of situations that I'm finding myself engaged in, and it's very touching. It's hard at times because I know what it's like. I've been there.
And so the other thing I find, this has affected my family, my daughter, and Fredericton and here and places, is this, the housing. I'm not sure, with each phase of government, so as an MLA,
right,
what can you be voicing towards or helping towards to help sort of maybe alleviate some of the red tape for the housing, or get more housing available? Or I know you talked about the rent cap, but is there anything in place or they're talking about for building more houses to make that possible?
100%. Well, one of the things, not so much in the short time I've been a member of the Legislative Assembly, that I'm really proud of from my 3.5 years on City Council, was that we were strong advocates for affordable housing within our city. And we were able to successfully put in place, in place upwards of 50 new affordable housing units throughout the city. So that was a very huge step, in my opinion, and something that I'm proud of. We, as a municipality, invested what we could in order to make that happen. The red tape piece that's always a challenge, and there's different levels of services, different levels of housing for people in need. And yes, one of the goals of our government is to make that process easier for people to try to get them in a safe, warm place to live as quickly as possible.
That's awesome. All right, poor Sam. He's like, I can't paint. I got to talk about this stuff.
No, but it's important stuff.
Yeah.
And
oh, it is for sure.
the other thing about housing is it implicates all three levels of government: municipal, provincial, and federal. So oftentimes, one of the things I did learn though is that access to money, money isn't everything, but it sure does help. Oftentimes involves the federal and provincial government with bilateral support for municipalities, particularly in rural New Brunswick, where we also have housing needs. It's not just in the larger urban centers. Mm-hmm. So it's an issue right across the province. And I know...
So being that you've come through the city council, you know the struggles they face trying to get these funds, or
100%.
Maybe that's something you guys would be working on, sort of bridging that gap.
And you know, believe it or not, in Miramichi we had a very low vacancy rate. It's improved some, but it's still tough to get a one-bedroom affordable apartment. It's mm-hmm. really hard. And I mean, for people that have the income, mm-hmm. yes, there are places that were built for folks that, you know, have the means to be able to afford them. But a lot of times that's not the case with people, and they really struggle. So one of my goals is, like you say, to be here for everyone. People aren't necessarily looking for a handout, they're looking for a hand up. They need assistance in life to get to a place where they can make it on their own. And if I can be a part of that, then that's going to make me feel real proud.
That's awesome. Before we move over to that tree, we're going to bring this tree right down to the bottom.
Oh, wow.
This one here.
Okay, this guy?
This is our big tree, yeah.
Okay.
So we want to have that one's in the foreground and some details on that one.
Right down here?
Yeah.
Like that?
So right down,
awesome.
It's going to be in the snow eventually. And
okay.
Then we'll move over.
Cool.
And just so quickly, as you're doing that picture, just think of it like you're coming down, creating a smile, moving down, creating a smile.
Right.
All the way down the page. Look at that. Much better tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one here, make it a little darker, use some paint.
This guy?
No, your one here.
Okay.
And keep coming with your branches all the way down till you hit the snow down right about in here
So
somewhere.
it's black and?
Yeah, a little black and yellow.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, so housing, you know, no matter what part of the province you're in, I know it's an issue in the larger centers like St. John, but it's also an issue here in Miramichi. Mm-hmm. And folks need that support, right? Okay, so just keep coming with the smiles.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
Just think of it like branches on a tree.
Right. Okay. This guy all the way.
There we go. I like it. Now you're getting loose and fast. And just let it flow. Let it happen naturally.
Yeah. It's interesting.
It's good. Add a few up in here.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's coming.
Add one more big branch right here, just so you're close to the snow.
Okay, gotcha.
He says, what snow? I don't even see any snow yet.
Yeah, it's coming.
Well, that's
Winter's coming.
That's when we're going to pull out the knives. Big, it's like, what?
Gotcha.
Have some fun.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking that all the stuff you got going on, how do you find time in the day for family?
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because my sister asked me that the other day. She said, you know, with all the work that you're engrossed in right now, and you have to take time for yourself to have what, you know, is commonly called work-life balance. Mm-hmm. And make some time for my wife, Sharon. She just recently retired after 37 years in the provincial public service with the Department of Social Development, and make some time for my grandbabies, Wee Willow and Little Lily, and we're going to have a nice Christmas together. We're going to their house, so it's challenging.
That's awesome.
Like, for example, my granddaughter's birthday is on Saturday, and I have a special surprise for her. I'm going to dress up as the Grinch and surprise all the kids. And then right afterwards, though, I have to go to an event in the riding, but I'm still going to make time to make sure that it's special for them and my family, and that I'm there for them too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Next, we're going to take this snow here, this little white paint. We're going to grab a glob of this with our brush here. So right under the tree, we're gonna just smear a little bit of snow going up the hill like this. And then we're gonna kind of come across and go down like we're going into a little hill.
Oh boy.
Real fun. And then grab from the other side. We're gonna come down from our little tree, creating a hill. We're gonna bring them together. So I'm gonna give you this here and watch you do this and have some fun and a good smile as you watch you have some fun with this knife. So this is just the first part of our snow we're gonna create in our little Christmas scene we're having fun with today.
Cool. Okay, let's give it a whirl here. Just like that?
Yeah. So we're just gonna make 2 hills, one connecting to each other.
Maybe a little more juice here.
Yeah, and smear it right across, just paint it down like a little hill and then move over to the other side.
Ambidextrous.
Amazing if we put a little effort to make life a story, you know what I mean? Because when we die, I was writing a poem today talking about this, that you know, death smiles at us all, as Marcus Aurelius says, all we do is smile back.
Yes.
All these problems are nothing. We want to create hope, and the best way to do that is show people we love them and
100%.
do little things to make their days a little special, so that when we're gone, that's the memories they have. Nobody's going to remember if we have a big house or a fancy pool or a car, but they're going to remember that time me and my brother went to, we used to pull up the trucks and they'd just follow me. They'd just say, okay, we're going to go on an adventure. So we'd get a bunch of us behind each other, driving a truck somewhere, go off to some river or something, jump off a bridge or go climb somewhere. And we took the Jeep one day, and as we got into the woods, the Jeep got stuck. The one vehicle that got stuck was the Jeep, unfortunately, because he decided to go through some deep water and take a little adventure. And we had some fun, and then we get in my, at the time I had an old green minivan, not much money, and we get in this and we start driving back to town. I realize I haven't put gas in the van, and we're ways from town. We're running out of gas. We knock on some door in the middle of the night, and the guy gives us the gas can.
It's the simple moments in life that are memorable, right?
Yeah, and this was the memory we had. And then when we went to pick up the Jeep the next morning, driving it out, he forgot to hook the latches on. It came up, cracked the windshield on the Jeep, and but that's a memory we always have. And we took a picture diving through the falls that day, and it was one of those things that you can't pay. There's no memory. So go out, try something, fail. Everything's on the other side of failure, I always say.
Absolutely, and especially doing it with the people that mean a lot to you.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and that's what makes things memorable. And it's always good to reminisce with folks later on in life and have a good laugh and some more memories.
Let's put a little snow under your other tree.
Okay.
Just down over
Need
there.
the other guy to have some snow too.
Come up on the hill there a bit.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And then somehow blend some of that snow down into your snow like you're coming down the hill.
Okay.
Nothing to it. So what's your favorite Christmas memory, thinking back with somebody, a family member or something?
You know, one of my favorite Christmas memories is actually when my family, we used to go to midnight mass at St. Mary's Church, and the anticipation of getting everybody at our house and going to church. And then one year in particularly was memorable for me because I was an altar boy and I graduated up to serving the Mass. And Father Henry McGrath was the pastor at St. Mary's and the senior priest. And he came back. It was almost like getting ready for a hockey game or something. He got us all together and he said, boys, we got to be on tonight. It's a full house. And he said, and God's watching. So it was kind of cool because although I felt nervous, I felt proud too. And then it was so nice to see everybody from Newcastle that I knew out in the crowd and my family. And I got to serve that Mass, and that's one of my fun Christmas memories.
We're just going to touch the bottom of just our main tree and some of the branches. So we're going to add some shadows into it.
Okay.
So just a bit of a shadow. We're just trying to get a little technique down, something you can do fun with your kids and have a fun Christmas evening together. Beautiful. Take a little bit of this blue on our brush. And we're going to thin it right down. And then what this is going to do is add some light and darkness to our painting. Well, Sam's finishing off the snow and his shadows there and adding into the light. We're going to go to a commercial break and we'll be back, and we're going to add the snow to our tree and add some snow into the scene and just give it a little Christmassy feel.
Cool.
Public transit, garbage pickup, parks and recreation programs, snow removal on your street. How can you stay informed about these and other important local services? Tune to City Council coverage on Rogers TV. See your community leaders at work on Rogers TV City Council coverage.
I am Gagwege. My name means everything.
Tom Longboats.
I am Wolf Clan, Onondaga Nation. I've run many different races. I've run to survive and to be free. I've run to win for honor.
His people might be lazy, but this one's damn fast.
My people respected our runners, people who carried important messages from village to village.
I need a guide to the next post. Dispatch carrier, sir. I can get you there.
God's sakes, man, slow down. Who do you think I am, Tom Longboat?
No, sir. I am.
Running makes me feel alive. It's everything.
Tom Longboat was the first Indigenous person to win the Boston Marathon. He ran his way to international fame and became an inspiration to generations of athletes.
This is a perfectly healthy child. What's unhealthy are birth alerts, a racist practice that may stop this Indigenous mother from going home with her newborn. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
Well, we're back with McGowan's Canvas Miracles, and we're here with Sam Johnston, and we're going to add some snow to our trees. And this is sort of the fun part of the painting. And you get to just blob on, just like when you were a little kid, remember? And it's like,
it's really
you finally got to, and when we do it, we're just laying the snow right on top, just like it fell right onto our canvas.
Right.
And I use this to hide all my mistakes. And anywhere I got a tree branch I don't like the shape of, I throw a big hunk of snow there.
Right.
And before you know it, and the secret with painting, every time you put some color on your canvas, the next time you hit it, you take the color out. So you really want to have as little touching as possible. You just want to throw it on there and let that big white sort of show up.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. And on the bottom of your tree, you can even have it sort of coming up, just like there's some snow working its way up the bark.
Right.
Or we have Christmas classes we do over the season. You can look on Facebook and find some of the classes I do. Or you bring your kids out and have some fun.
You want to learn to paint, Rob's your guy.
Yeah, we have a great time. So.
All right. Wow.
It's awesome. Maybe throw some on your top branches. Yeah, perfect. Now some on your other tree.
Yeah.
Even here. Put a big chunk of paint. Just enjoy it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Be like my brother used to go crazy. Remember that snow used to get on the phony trees? And
yes,
I'd be putting it on real delicate, nice, and he'd be just whacking big chunks. In the end, his looked better.
Yeah.
Because it looked more real, like a big chunk of snow had fallen onto it.
Right.
So, yeah, just let her go and throw throw a good bunch of snow onto your tree, especially down in the bottom.
Right.
Then the last thing we do, we're going to take this little brush and we're going to touch a little water on our page. And we're going to touch the snow. And this one you might want to hold away from you a little bit.
Right.
And you just tap your brush. Oh, it's not coming off easy. Just add more water. And you just tap it, and all of a sudden you got snow.
Ah, cool.
All over your whole page. How easy is that?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Here.
Okay, so I put some white.
Yep.
And then I just mix it on the page.
Yeah, a little white and water. You can even use that one there.
Yeah.
I got some already mixed up here. You want to use this?
Oh,
Might be
okay,
easier
sure.
for you. It's already consistent.
Yeah, okay. Yep. Sure. And just
So is there any holiday greeting you want to say to anybody, or?
Well, en français, je vous souhaite un joyeux Noël envers tout le monde, francophone dans la région. And I'd just like to say Merry Christmas to everyone in the riding of Miramichi Bay Nigawak. That, I was a little, got a little ambitious.
That's all right.
there.
Have some fun.
Yeah. And thank you so much for everything. And I hope that everyone has a very merry and joyous Christmas and holiday season.
Awesome. Well, what else can we do here, Sam? You're ahead of the game. We're going to put a little bit of a shadow in under our tree.
Okay.
I think we got maybe, 10 minutes left to get this done.
All right.
So let's try and spruce her up a bit. So we're going to take and just touch a little shadow underneath.
Just with some gray?
Yeah, just with some of the Payne's Gray watered down.
Okay.
And we're just going to paint our tree in the opposite direction.
Okay.
Doing the same thing, making the smiley faces as you work your way up. And then just touch it lightly. Then all of a sudden you're going to have a shadow under your tree. When you were in city council,
yep,
what was the hardest thing that you found about that job?
I found with city council, because it is a part-time position, that it was hard to get everything done. And there were times I felt that despite my best efforts, I didn't feel as efficient as I wanted to be. But I think with what I had to deal with in terms of time, every evening I would answer my calls, I always attended the meetings, there were special events to attend. But man, it's tough. Like, folks don't realize, when you're an engaged city councilor, if you put your heart into it, it takes a lot of your time. And never mind the mayor. I don't know how the mayor does it with a part-time mayor position, because in my opinion, mayor for sure is a full-time job.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've always thought that too. We're going to take a little bit of this yellow here.
Okay.
And I'm just going to touch up some of the edges of our leaves, only on the right side. So it's sort of like sunlight is sort of hitting on the edges. Just give it a goldeny feel.
Right side.
Yeah, and come right into the middle of your tree. Pull it down. Just creates a nice little feel to it. Maybe add some up here on the top of your tree, so it's right up in the light. Yeah, move your snow around down here. Some guy went and plopped all that white mess down there. We won't say any names. Who is that Rob guy anyway? Yeah, the hardest thing, and you never know what you can do. Even this show, when we first, the idea, thought, oh, well, we're going to do a painting and do an interview at the same time. I don't know if people realize it's like chewing gum and doing things at the same time. So when you're trying to do an interview, you're thinking of the question in your head, and then you're trying to do a painting and give instructions. So you got two things going through your head the whole time. Yeah, and it makes it kind of fun. But the idea is to have something to tune into. What's Rob going to mess up this week, or what's he going to get right, or wow, did you actually get a painting out of that hour? How'd you manage that? So anything's possible.
Well, I've really enjoyed it. This is the first time I've ever done a painting.
That's awesome. You can take now and take a full thickness of black and yellow. And right here, right on the front of your tree, just add in a little bit of a branch. At this point, when you get to the finished part of the painting, it's sort of the impasto section. That's when you want it thick and sort of gaudy. If you ever go through an airport, you see these beautiful paintings on the side. And then if you ever walk up close to them, you look, the artist is usually just hunk on a blob of paint here and there and smeared a few things around.
Yeah.
Because Impressionism is about creating enough on the canvas so that when you look at it, your mind fills in the rest. So the artist has to know sort of the fine line of what's the least I can put on, but it gives them enough. They see, oh, that's a tree, and then the mind starts filling in the leaves from the distance. So,
cool.
So it's a real balance and a real learning ability. Well, that's great, Sam. That's it's a start, and it's
a start.
It's fun. I think it's fun.
My snowflakes are a little
big.
big.
Add a little tree right here.
Yeah, maybe I'll just add a tree.
Yeah.
I'll add another guy.
Now, when you put paint on your brush, just wipe it out so you got a flat surface to work with.
Okay, gotcha.
Now start your tree. Look at that. Now he's getting confident. Put the Charlie Brown tree in there, make it fun.
Yeah, little Charlie Brown guy.
I like it. Now we got some depth, a little bit of perception. I like it. Now add a little snow into the branches.
Yeah. Interesting. Cool.
Beauty. Put a shadow under your trees.
Yeah.
You're all set.
A little black, eh? Black
Yeah.
and yellow?
Yeah, a little. No, you don't even need the yellow, just the black.
Just the black.
Well, I got to say, I can't believe you didn't get it on your suit.
Yeah.
When you came in a suit today, I thought, oh my goodness, this is going to be an interesting show for sure.
Wow.
And so as you see, as we go along, we can take and start adding more details in. And you see, remember we painted that blue underneath?
Yeah.
So now what it does is it creates a light on the top.
Okay.
And the shadow's just sort of flowing through a little bit. I'm going to add some watered down snow to my trees in the back.
Yeah. Interesting.
Just push them back a little bit.
Wow. Well, this was really fun.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I never know what we're going to come up with. You never know. Each time I have somebody in, I think, what can we do in a short,
Right.
Really, you got a half an hour to paint. By the time you talk and do everything and throw it on, what can you just throw up there quickly and live as you're doing it?
Yeah.
It's not like we can sit back and go, oh, we'll paint this and bring it out. And,
No, I enjoyed
do
it, and
fun.
I want to thank you for having me, Rob. It's been awesome, and I can't believe I painted a picture. It's pretty cool.
I can't believe it. Let's take a look at this here.
Yeah.
I like it. Oh, this is great. So what I do, just to finish it off, because just slight touches, we can just improve things just a hair here and there.
Yep.
So we'll take a little bit more snow, and we're going to come down, just sort of blend our hill down like this. All of a sudden, the tree comes right out of the snow.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's better. And then on the other side, same thing. Your shadow here, if you were to paint it, see now your shadow blends into the snow?
Okay.
Yeah, and then here, this is the background. We'll have the hills sort of going back into the background, working their way up to the foreground. And just with our little knife, all of a sudden we can make things to change just slightly. Slight adjustment.
Awesome.
Makes it great. Well, I want to thank you for spending some time with us today. And,
Oh, it was my pleasure. It's a lot of fun.
I'd like to tell people to go out and help somebody,
Yes.
We all have means. I was sitting the other day and I was talking to my kids about, we all have things. We don't need things anymore. And we go around giving each other these things. Maybe there's something else we could do. And my son said, he came up with this idea. He said, well, I don't want my grandkids to get Christmas presents anymore. He says, just give us $20, $30, put it in an envelope or something. And he said, I'm going to put that in an account. So when they become older, he says, because I buy them presents anyway and they have things to open.
Sure.
But that creates a savings account and teaches them that in the future they can start with the means, you know, because housing and all the things, to have some kind of basis. So if we as families and start to work on how we get the next generation to have the things they need, you know, rather than all these toys and all the, you know, how many toy trucks do you need? How many paint things do you need? But if we can work together to create resources and create wealth that they can take care of each other as they go along, it's a better plan. I thought that's a great idea. So maybe we should be looking more into that and helping more people in our communities in that way as well.
I've kind of got to a point in my life where I see Christmas as a time for people, especially as a time for family and friends. But there are those amongst us that may not have any family, and they may not have a whole lot of social network of friends. So what I like to remind people is, particularly during the Advent season, the Christmas season, or if you're of another faith tradition, the holiday season, is to be kind to people, is to take a moment to say hi to someone, is to take a moment, if you can, to think of somebody else. Think beyond yourself and be kind to somebody else, to try to tap into that spirit of Christmas beyond the commercialism and the glitz and the glamour. It comes down to people and being kind to each other.
That's true. Well, I want to thank you for coming in. We're at the end of our show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to McGowan's Canvas Miracles and having people on like Sam.
I did produce a miracle today.
Oh, you had good fun. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And the story. And I think that your story is an amazing one, Sam, of overcoming leukemia and working through politics on both sides and getting to understand the system and going through city council and all the things you've done. We want to thank you for your commitment to helping the city and working with us. And I want to thank you for coming in. And just so everybody knows, Sam, anytime I've done any work in the community of any kind, doesn't matter what it was, Sam always shows up and participates. And I wanted to just mention that. And you've been a good friend, Sam.
Always been a pleasure. And God bless you and God bless all our viewers.
Thank you again for watching McGowan's Canvas Miracles. And we'll see you next time.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
Ani, I'm Carolyn King, and I'm a member of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the creator of the Moccasin Identifier. Philip Cote, an artist in Toronto here, took and redrew real moccasins. We're starting over with the children. The idea is that they would research whose land their school is built on, near, or what treaty area they're in. And the educational kit that we have has all that information in there. And the children just, love it. My dream is that this province will be covered with moccasin identifiers within the next decade. And they will forever know whose land they're on. That's the goal. Educate and awareness with a nice, simple little program called the Moccasin Identifier.
Are you a content creator looking to expand your audience and make your voice heard in your community? Rogers TV wants to provide you with a platform to share your hobbies, interests, and stories for free. Visit us to find out more.
Hi, can I take your order?
Oh, hey. Wait, what was the question?
Let me guess. One driving high combo, extra baked?
No. Could I get a burger with a side of fries?
Think you're a better driver when you're high? Think again. Smoking weed affects reaction time and concentration. A message from Mad Canada.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes